Vietnam. Incredible landscapes, a rich culture, and very touristy places. But the reality is much more intense than that. Between chaos, wild nature, and completely unexpected places, this journey surprised me from start to finish. For several weeks, I traveled across northern Vietnam. From Hanoi to the mountains of Ha Giang, the northern bays, all the way down to the rice fields of Ninh Binh. When you start a trip in northern Vietnam, you naturally arrive in Hanoi. And Hanoi is a shock. From the very first minutes you feel it. The noise, the traffic, scooters everywhere. Everything feels chaotic, but somehow it all works. Crossing the street becomes an experience in itself. You hesitate, you look, then you just walk, and somehow everyone avoids you. The worst thing you can do is to stop in the middle. You just have to move slowly and stay predictable. After a few hours, you start getting used to it. After a few days, you understand the rhythm. But Hanoi is not just chaos. Between busy streets, you'll find temples, like around Kiem Lake, hidden cafes, and even the famous train street, where a train passes just inches away from houses. A few seconds before it arrives, everything disappears. Tables, chairs, and right after, life goes back to normal. It's intense, not always easy, but fascinating. And after 3 days here, I wanted to see a different side of Vietnam. Heading north, Ha Giang. A region known for one thing, the famous motorbike loop. It's the most popular way to explore the area. So I decided to do it differently. Instead of following the classic route, I went on a solo trek for several days. I hadn't found much information about solo trekking in Vietnam before coming here. Most treks are organized, especially around Sapa, so I just followed my instinct. At first, it's hard to escape the main road. You're surrounded by groups of motorbikes, sometimes 20 riders at a time. And the looks from tourists on the back of those bikes can feel a bit heavy. But the encouragement from local farmers kept me going. Then, from Pho Bang, I finally found smaller paths leading deep into the mountains towards remote villages near the Chinese border. And that's when everything changes. The noise disappears, the roads turn into trails, and you find yourself alone in the mountains. The few interactions with locals, surprised to see me there, are memories I'll never forget. Further along, the town of Dong Van is worth a stop, especially for its colorful market where different ethnic groups gather. It feels like stepping into another era. And even further, the Ma Pi Leng Pass offers completely unreal landscapes. The mountains are massive, the villages are isolated, and some areas are so remote, you can walk for hours without seeing anyone. It's one of the poorest regions in Vietnam, but also one of the most authentic. Probably one of the most powerful moments of the trip. Less spectacular on paper than the loop, but much more meaningful. After the mountains, I headed to the sea. When people think about this region, they immediately think of Ha Giang Bay. But there's an alternative, much less known, Cat Ba. The landscapes are similar, karst formations rising out of the water. Calm, almost unreal bays. Especially around Lan Ha Bay, where you can kayak between the cliffs. But the atmosphere is different. Fewer boats, fewer tourists, more peace. For a more off-the-beaten-path experience, the hike in Cat Ba National Park is a must. There are almost no people, and the trail crosses the island all the way to a coastal village, where you can take a local boat back, through the same landscapes most people visit on organized tours. Is it better than Ha Giang Bay? Hard to say. But one thing is certain, it feels much more peaceful. Then I made my way down to Ninh Binh, a place often called Ha Giang Bay on land. Here, rivers wind through rice fields, surrounded by limestone mountains. Places like Tam Kok, Trang An, or Hang Mua offer incredible views. It's beautiful, very beautiful. But also very popular. Boat rowers sometimes use their feet to move the boats. Some areas are clearly very touristy. Lots of people, lots of boats. So it's best to go early in the morning. It completely changes the experience. But as soon as you move away from the main spots, everything feels different. The region has so many places to explore, and by taking the time to ride a bike through the countryside, you can easily escape the crowds. That's when Ninh Binh becomes truly magical. Then I continued south to Hue, the former imperial capital of Vietnam. A place full of history, with landmarks like the Imperial City and many ancient temples. It's impressive, rich in culture. But honestly, it didn't impact me as much as other places. Maybe because the atmosphere is calmer, or just different from the rest of the trip. Interesting, yes, but less intense. That said, Hue is also famous for its food and for good reason. The cuisine here is considered some of the best in Vietnam. Inspired by royal traditions, yet still incredibly affordable. You can try local specialties like bun bo hue, a spicy beef noodle soup, bánh bao, small steamed rice cakes, or bánh quai, a crispy pancake filled with shrimp and pork. And the best part? You can enjoy all of this for just a few dollars. And then, Da Nang. At first, it was just a stop. A few days before moving on. But I ended up staying for 2 months. Why? Because everything feels easy. Between beaches like Mai Khe Beach, the modern city, and places like the Marble Mountains or Son Tra Peninsula, this city offers a rare balance. Life feels smooth. Less chaotic than Hanoi, more comfortable. For digital nomads, it's easily one of the best places in the country. Long beaches, plenty of activities, even one of the best surf spots in Vietnam. And a mix of local life, expats, and travelers. Not the most spectacular place in Vietnam, but probably one of the best to live in. And just a few kilometers away, there's Hoi An, a city known for its lanterns, colorful streets, and unique atmosphere. At night, the old town lights up, and everything feels almost unreal. It's beautiful. But also very touristy. A lot of people, a lot of shops. So it's better to come early in the morning or later in the evening to enjoy a quieter atmosphere. Despite that, there's something special here. A vibe. That's hard to explain. This journey through Vietnam taught me one thing. This country is not just a destination. It's a mix of contrasts. From the chaos of big cities to the silence of the mountains. From very touristy places to completely untouched areas. And in the end, it's not always the most famous places that leave the biggest impact.